stream is live and all that, but we're on the splash page. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes. It's time. Hello there, kings, queens, and everybody between. It's your boy MSC coming back at you with yet another video. And today I'm wondering why Discord likes freezing this man's camera. Is it because he's too good? Is it because he's too elite? Is it because he's the best in the game? Is that why? Because it seems like every time Subtle Fraudulence is trying to show even more than 1% of his power, Discord's got to try to shut him down. So I'm just trying to figure out Discord. Is it the platform? Or is it his excellence? Because Subtle Fraud is right here. How you been, man? You ready for the holiday season? You good?
I'm ready for it to be over. No, I'm terrible. I'm fucking terrible. But, you know, whatever. It'll all get, you know, cleared in post, right? Whatever. The holidays, they're coming. I'm ready for the new year to be here. And, you know, new year, new me. What is it? New year, new me. Everyone's going to change their behavior for the first month and then like go back to being shitty.
You mean like the first like 4 days?
Yeah, that's right.
I ain't never seen nobody get into a month.
People are doing PBs on their speed runs now, so like, yeah, that makes sense.
For 72 hours,
exactly. So you know, I'm just you know waiting to see when that's gonna hit me, and then see how I have to change my behavior accordingly, because that's how the world is now. You know, you have to do everything to bend to the will of someone else's behavior now, because you know someone else just has more than you, or they have more power than you, or more money, or you know something.
I mean, on one hand, I could agree with you, but it just segues so nicely into our first topic of the day, because it's like people used to tell me, oh yeah, once Elon Musk is in power on Twitch, you guys are gonna have to bow to a new sheriff. No more of this wokeism. The return of free speech is back. You want to advertise yourself on your other platforms? You can do it. You want to talk smack about those who are in power without fear of being stricken down in the night? You can. If you wanted free speech advocacy to reign supreme, now's your time. Have y'all ever uncoupled yourself from the teat of one Elon Musk? That's all I want to ask for those of you who are 10 toes down in support of every decision that this Joker seems to make. And the reason why I ask that is because as of late, on the newest chapter of the Elon Musk Twitter Chronicles, he has decided to say, if you have a link tree, if you have an OnlyFans, a Twitch, or some external platform, whether it be YouTube or the one that we're streaming on right now, Twitch, whether it be Facebook, and you are using Twitter as a place to advertise those other links, nah, bro, you a spam bot. You ain't gonna allow that. Now, here's the thing. Do I think he's ever going to seriously enforce this? No. Do I think this is going to be something that's actively policed on the platform? Also, no. But what I do know is that Elon Musk is a petty individual, and I feel like this is just one of those things he's sliding in there to when he sees something that might set off his pettiness, he now can use that as a smoking gun to get you off of this platform if he so wanted it to be that way. Because if this is something that is seriously enforced, if this is something that is, once again, something he's willing to stand 10 toes down on, what are we doing, y'all? Like, how is it that, like, what was that? Was it Hive Social? How are they making better decisions and there's only 2 people on that entire development staff? How? How is it possible?
Experience, sir. You know, maybe in our society, when we have things like, you know, social media that's very powerful, you shouldn't just allow some dude to spend like $44 billion and then be like, no, it's mine. I can do it. I'm going to fire half of you. That's right. You're all out of a job. Huh?
Because the real funny thing about it that like really bothers me in this whole debacle is if you go back 6 months, in Elon Musk's own words, if a platform in this social media game has to build a wall to keep their users trapped inside of their platform, that's the social media that's losing. And lo and behold, hey, you know, it look like he's erecting a structure that is very wallular, very wall-like in its structure, trying to keep the content within the perimeter of the Twitter boundary and not escaping to your Instagrams, your TikToks, your YouTubes and other social media platforms. But hey, hey, free speech is reigning supreme. You can say whatever you want, unless
it's legal.
Unless it's a slight towards Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you guys start getting packed up. And the best part about it is that this is technically what he's doing here is technically, and not even technically, in some countries that this worldwide platform is on, what he is doing is illegal.
Yep. Antitrust. What are you doing, sir? You can't just say, no. You guys have to use my platform. You can't use anyone else's platform. Sorry, sir. That's against the law. We might sue you now. Have you noticed that every time Elon Musk makes a change to Twitter, that it's in response to someone making fun of him for something? Example, he has made all kinds of tweets at Apple because Apple has been talking about possibly taking Twitter off of the App Store. And he has complained so much about it. And someone pointed out, it's really funny that Elon Musk is making all these tweets complaining about Apple from an iPhone because it shows, a picture that says tweet from iPhone.
And now he's removing it
from iPhone. Yeah, and now he removed it. And so it's like, no, you can't see that I'm on an iPhone. We still know. We still see it. Nice try.
Because you want to know something that was really funny?
What?
So I don't know if you were here on the platform a couple days ago, but this is how you know we're living in the inner turmoil of a man depressed. Not a man possessed, folks. A man depressed. Because I don't know if you remember this whole thing about Twitter Spaces where he decided he was going to force his way in some Twitter space and say, hey, you journalists, you guys don't know what I've been through. And then the journalist was like, but no one even doxed you. You lied. And when they pressed him on that, zippity-doo-dah, bye-bye, he felt like a house of cards. And then he suspended the feature of Twitter Spaces.
And he also made it so that the person who actually started the space is not allowed to ever create a space on Twitter ever again.
They were just straight up banned as a result.
You guys all bunched together. All you journalists that I banned are now getting together to talk about, what this means for journalism, what this means for Twitter. All that stuff. You guys are having a conversation without me. Well, he doxed somebody and we can't allow doxing. It's like, sir, what if it actually wasn't doxing? And you banned journalists for posting about it in their articles. Well, you posted a link, which meant that I was, but yeah, the link didn't have your information, sir. and now he's gone. It's just like, sir, we just want answers. He's like, well, you guys can't talk like this ever again. It's just like, what? Be more of a baby with your money. Why do you have this much money?
He is more of a baby because today he drops a tweet. Should I step down as Twitter CEO? Whatever this poll says is what I'll do. And it's like,
it's not going to happen.
Hold on. I got a pen. Hold on. Let me grab a piece of paper. My key light almost just took me out. I'm dying. I'm getting struck by everything. Almost got my camera almost sent me to the shadow realm. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let me write this down.
My guy is going.
Hold on. Pretend we're all in.
He's gonna add bots to that poll. All right.
Pretend we're all in third grade English class. Okay, you ready? Do you like me? Question mark. Box 1. Yes. Box 2. No. Hey, my boy. Just go ahead and slide that to the dude over there with the. Yeah, just go ahead and just pass that note on to him. Hey. Now you got it. Give him that little wink. Maybe shoot the finger guns at him one time. Then it comes back and that poll gonna say, "Damn, they checked no." All right, deploy the bots. Get the bots in there. Do your thing. Wow, you guys like me? Wow, because you guys like me, I'ma stick around. I highly doubt that you spend $44 billion go on this whole piss baby tirade, and then listen to some poll results. That's not happening. Even if it doesn't have bots, you really think you step in? No, We know that's not
It
going to
doesn't
happen.
absolve him of his crimes on the platform. You know, like what is it? He is currently being sued for things that have happened with Twitter, and obviously he's going to get more lawsuits if the what is it? The fucking the you can't post other links to other websites or to like these websites, Facebook, Mastodon, Instagram, etc. Like the WhatsApp, like you can't post links to these things on my website. Like you're gonna get sued for that.
But you know what's gonna happen, right?
What?
Somehow he's gonna spin this, even if it says like yes to the majority of people. He's going to say this was the most voted on poll on Twitter. He's going to turn this into a metric positive. It's going to happen, showing that many users are engaged with the platform and that the blue check works.
Oh, word? Damn, the blue check works, huh? Oh, damn, this is the most voted on poll on Zanga. That shows that tons of people are here and they're using the platform still. So clearly we're not dying. Clearly nothing bad is happening. It's like, come on, man. Like we know what's happening.
Because let me teach you something. Let me teach most of y'all something about business. Let's just say he does, quote unquote, step away, right? He's just going to put someone in power who's going to answer to him anyway because he still owns the platform.
Right.
So, like, honestly, this is a nothing burger poll. I want to make sure that is fully known. Like, even if you vote yes and he does decide to honor it and step down, he's just going to get some yes man that's going to do everything that he says anyway. You've just now added a middleman or middlewoman to the situation. That's all you've done. So I don't think you're going to see groundbreaking changes because he stepped down as the head of Twitter. Because there'll just be a figurehead in its place.
Let's also point out the fact that Twitter has, I think, multiple security risks now because of the fact that, one, the two-factor authentication issue that was presented ages ago, where he just basically got rid of it. And so if you have that, you don't get the text with the code so that you can log in. And so you just can't log in. Two, a lot of employees who had access to the GitHub account that was used for certain features in Twitter got fired. They still have access to that account. And most employees that work for Twitter now don't have access to that. So it's like, even though this is not going to like destroy the platform if they don't have access to this GitHub account, you've allowed other people who now have a vendetta against you to have access to this information that's very important to your platform. That's very important to your platform working. Also, of course, we all have noticed that certain people who were, in charge of specific features, like, I don't know, putting descriptions in the trending topics that you see, those people got fired. So that just doesn't happen anymore. Like those things are just gone. Those features are just gone. You just see that. Like,
there's a lot of people who are locked out of their account just because the 2FA issue is not working.
Yeah, and they can't get it back because it requires 2FA to get back into it. And what can be done about that? Twitter themselves can't do anything about that. Why? Because Elon Musk was like, well, we need to get rid of that feature because it's a security risk. Actually, it's because this one guy who was in charge of it was talking shit about me and whatnot, so I fired him.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. If you ask me, SMS is not a good suitable, like, it's not suitable for two-factor.
I mean,
like, it's better than nothing. But I just feel like the SMS system, everyone has different carriers. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with it. There's a lot of choke points for that. But it's still better than nothing.
Yeah. It is better than nothing. And now you all know why, 2FA is actually a scam. That's right. Don't put any sort of authentication on your account. Just roll the dice. All right. Roll the dice.
That's like saying, nah, man, a condom can cut off the circulation to your penis. So, don't wear them no more, guys.
Just
you got the green light to go #raw boy. It's like, what?
See, you keep your life exciting, by having the adrenaline rush of like, oh my God, did I pull out in time? And then having that, you know, existential dread for the next few weeks of like, am I going to have a child with this person that I didn't even like that much? Or, you know, you just keep it all.
And then once you're like, but subtle fraudulence, I'm pregnant. You're like, it's time for pregnancies done quick, I see.
Well, we're going to what state still supports
welcome to PDQ, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
There's no way that, look, it's so mind-boggling that this man who's literally just spending all his time being like, do you guys think I'm cool? Yeah, I'm so cool, right? I like dragons and stuff. Hey, yeah, I'm so cool, right? I support free speech. That's the guy who's making decisions about this platform that has been used by so many people for like important things, and now everyone is realizing, one, that the platform is a sham because he released all that shit about shadow banning and how they've confirmed that people were getting shadow banned for like existing. People were getting shadow banned for being like, you know, on the left. People were getting boosted for spouting out insane takes, usually like right-wing takes. People were getting shadow banned for just posting an OnlyFans link. You know, all kinds of things like that were going on. And he's like, I'm going to combat that with more shadow banning. That's right. I'm going to ban the shadows, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to like go out of my way to make it so that, you know, if an account posts something that's like not satisfactory, I'm going to make it so that people don't see their accounts as much. And like someone had to sit him down and be like, sir, that's what shadow banning is. So you're not really responding to it with anything. You're actually just doing the thing and telling people that you invented it. Like, you didn't invent fire, sir. Like, that's not how this is going to work. But, you know, there's so many people who are like, Elon Musk is the best. So they don't understand, bro. It's because they're all broke. And, you know, he made so much money. He's a billionaire. That's why he knows everything. And so, come on, bro. Everything he says is golden because I got to take those tips from him so that I can be a billionaire myself. This is capitalism, buddy. He's rich because you're broke. And he wants you to stay broke so that he can continue to be rich and make very bad decisions that will affect all of us. We're watching a platform get destroyed in live, like live right now. History being made, you know.
Platforms destroyed quick. It's still it's still BD. It's still PDQ, baby.
No one can do anything about this because no one has enough power besides the man who's destroying it. And people are literally like, come on, man. You got to understand that there are people who are already in positions that took care of these things or like understood these enough to explain this to you or to explain why it's important to have here. And you just said, nah, that doesn't sound right. I'll fire them. And then a week later goes, oh shit, that was really important. Security is actually very important for these platforms in big tech. And it's just like, what are you like an agent of like conservatives or like people who think that big tech is like evil or something? Are you here to destroy the platform from the inside and make it look like you're a buffoon as like some kind of martyr to serve the cause of like technology ruining society? Look, guys, we're already past it. Also, the reason why he's not that person is because he's also proposing that you guys get chips put into your brains. He's the one who's telling you the like what George Orwell 1984 whatever bullshit of like, oh, the fascism is coming. And it's like, what do you think a computer chip in your brain is going to be for? It's going to show all your emotions and like what people are thinking and stuff.
That Francis E. Declan dude is really about. It's really about to happen, bro.
I'm telling you, man.
That Mr. Esquire really about to.
Have you guys
really
seen
about
Made
to
for
do it, bro?
Have you seen Made for Love? It was on HBO. It has 2 seasons. It shows you exactly what an Elon Musk type will do in this situation and like what those motivations could be. And it's not good. In that show, it's like the concept of like, what if Elon Musk could literally just like make people dead on paper so that they would work for him forever and then never leave? Like they would never go home because their home is the office now. Like he found a way to legalize slavery by being like, well, I pay them and they live here. So, you know, like, well, they have everything they want here because
they
I'm
can
making
leave
my
if
products.
they want, but your microchip
they literally can't leave.
Tells them that they can't leave. Yeah,
in
but
the
here's
show.
the thing, you know.
In the show, they don't even know where the building is because you have to get drugged and taken to the building by someone else, someone on his security team, in order to even like visit the complex. Like journalists had to get like drugged and brought to that building in order to like interview him for things that were supposed to make him look better so that he could continue to have more control over the world with his products. Like, there's no fucking way that like we have people who have made fictional stories about these things, and now we're looking and we're seeing like a one-to-one analog of this. Like we're seeing it happen in real time, and people are just kind of like, nah, man, he's rich. He's not gonna do that to us. There's no way. He's a regular guy like me. And it's like, no, he's not. I will assure you, he's not a regular guy like you. He spent $44 billion on a platform that he doesn't like understand, and then fired the people who could give him like understanding on how it works.
And the best part is some people would actually go out of their way to like be like, nah, sir, no, that's not actually not how it works. So let me break it down to you. And he said, oh, talking back, eh? You're fired. What?
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, it's like, talk back to me, huh? And it's like, no, Dad, please. And it's like, you're fired. Like the fucking.
It's like they was trying to help you out. They were trying to give you some sort of enlightenment. They were trying to help you be a better you, so that you don't have to be the scapegoat for all of your problems that you are going to make.
You know about the PayPal thing? About like when he got fired from PayPal?
Talk to him. Let him know.
So he's not an owner of PayPal, right? So when he got fired from PayPal, one of the stipulations of his like agreement for when they let him go was that even though he's not an actual founder, that they still name him as a founder of the company. It was like, sir, you were trying to ruin it, and now you want us to say no, but he founded it. He was such a respectable man. It's like, no, we're like, get the fuck out of here. Security, like, escort him out of here. Like, how is it that?
Reminds me of his old Tesla gang.
Oh my God. Tesla stock so down. But don't worry, guys, buy the dip, right? You know, Tesla will go back up because Elon's a genius. He's trying to like tank his stock so that all of us can like get a little bit of that Tesla stock. And then, you know, before we all know it, it'll go back up to like $10 billion of stock, you know, and then we'll all become billionaires like him, right? Yeah. Isn't that how it works? Bro, isn't that how it works?
Because remember, he's not even a founder of Tesla.
He's not.
Just that a year after Tesla's initial debut,
he
coming together, he bought like what, $6.5-7 million worth of shares of investment. So he obviously became the largest shareholder because it was let's be honest, it was a fledgling startup at that point.
Remember when Trump was running for president and people were like, well, he's a businessman and he's rich, so he's got to be a successful businessman. So he's going to run the country like a business and he's going to like lead us to the promised lands. That guy's selling NFT cards now. So
look, here's the only thing that I want to say about the whole bit. This is probably like the 6th episode in which I've said this, but there were so many people in that small window of Trump's election cycle and the midterm after. And obviously, when he was going up for re-election 4 years later, there was a slogan that a lot of people like throwing out there. I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman or woman. And like, do you remember how all of this started? People were upset that there was too much business in the White House. So then they were like, let's elect big business and put it in the White House. Even though, let's be honest, it already was in the White House. This isn't like something new. But it's just like, oh, yes, we don't want big business in the White House, but at least this one had the balls to tell me that he is big business. So let's go ahead and put him in the White House. And it's like, no. That's like, you wouldn't let someone rob you because they were like, hey, guys. I'm a criminal and I'm a robber. Just letting you know I'm a robber and I'm not supposed to be here. So give me your things. You're like, well, at least this guy told me he was a robber. All right, pal. How much money you want? Let me open up a wallet. You take cash or you're a plastic guy? Like, no, look, you're not doing that, bro.
You don't go to a 5-star restaurant and be like, yo, I'm sick of the way this food fucking tastes. All right. I'm sick of this. All right. Get the chefs out of the kitchen. Put the electrician in there. That'll change things, and we'll have different tasting food. It'll be better. It'll be amazing. All right. And it's like, people apply to certain jobs that they're qualified for reasons.
Look, I just want people.
Qualifications are there for a reason.
Look, I just want people to be consistent. Okay. Like, look, you could say Obama sucks, and yes, there are definitely a lot of things that point to he wasn't nice with it. He was the right complexion, but he wasn't nice with it. He wasn't crisp. But when I look at what we're doing here, right? Everybody was jumping up and down, hooting and hollering, screaming at the top of their lungs, saying, "Show us the emails! Show us the emails!" When Nancy Pelosi had files in her office, when y'all broke in on the 6th, give us her computer. We want the files. Trump, with proof, been taking documents home that he wasn't supposed to take. Crickets, y'all were not keeping the same energy. Y'all didn't want to see it.
No, but like when you're president, you can just take whatever you want home. What you talking about, man? That's not legal. What are you guys taking him to jail for? Hold on. Look, he has a right to that. He was president for 4 years. Come on now.
Look. Come on. I am tired of the whiniest crybabies being in positions of power. Because, I mean, remember, let's be honest.
Look, sir, if Hunter Biden was talked about more in the media, then Trump would have won. How dare you? We've got efficient proof that Hunter Biden was smoking crack and showing his dick, all right? Like, how dare you? How dare you? Something's amiss over there. He was getting paid.
No, that's my favorite thing. Excuse me, sir. How can you manage the country if you can't even manage your own domicile? You sick fuck. And it's like, y'all over here talking about it's like, can Trump hold a marriage down? Like, he can't even manage that. Like,
you telling me his son is not on cocaine right now? Come on now. You can lie to me, but like, come on, bro.
Oh no, they call him Hunter Biden because he hunts the cocaine.
You remember that weird ass conspiracy theory that like Barack Obama's daughter was just like, it was in there with him? It's like, yeah, clearly it's Obama's daughter because that's a brown hooker right there. That is a hooker of color right there in the room with him. So it's got to be Obama's daughter. That's the only way. She's the only one that he knows. I'm like. And then people started photoshopping like her ID into the pictures and shit. It's like, you see, there's her ID right there. Clearly it's her. And I'm like, why? Like, are you saying, like, you got to take the layers and be like, how racist is this? Like, are you saying that she's a cokehead with him because she's black? Are you saying that, like, he has a dick that's just mesmerizing to everybody? Like, what's going on here? Because, there has never been a sign that you would be a part of any sort of behavior, and then people were just like, yeah, I'm eating it up. This makes sense to me. I'm like, should we talk about this? Nah, because it's dumb. Yeah, maybe Hunter Biden was in some sort of situation where his dad got him a job that he maybe was not qualified for, and he made a lot of money off of that. But if Joe Biden, if Sleepy Joe himself is to be put on trial for that, then you got a lot of other people who are going to be put on trial for that, because between Nancy Pelosi and the stock tips, who else was it? The Georgia senator and the stock tips, Trump and all his kids, and Jared Kushner, who was seen with Elon Musk, by the way, at the World Cup. Yeah, all those people, they serve from nepotism. I think like literally the entire all of Hollywood would have to be on trial for that, because nepotism definitely runs that industry. Like, how many times have you like saw a brand new actor and be like, damn, this person's real cool, let me look him up, and they're like, oh, that's Judd Apatow's daughter. Hold on, what the heck? Ethan Hawke's daughter. Wait, what is this? Bruce Willis's daughter? Who is actually new in Hollywood? Like,
it's like, nah, man. The old ways know best. And look, man, y'all have got to stop looking at these people on social media as like your heroes of today and tomorrow, because they not coming, bro. They not coming.
They're sure not.
I'm sorry to tell you, but your favorite Twitch streamer, they're not doing nothing for you. Some of y'all have had a great epiphany and awakening after this whole Kanye West debacle, but y'all have now realized that Ye ain't Ye. He very nay right now. That's Kanye West right now. He's down.
They're like, no, man, he has a goal for all of this. He's doing it on purpose. He's trying to expose something in the society. And it's like, no.
Listen, the only thing I want to touch on when it comes to Kanye West, because it's a viewpoint that I don't think a lot of people have actually taken the time to actually think about. And no, this isn't I'm on a big brain trip here, but a lot of people don't know that there are actually people who identify themselves as the Black Israelite Coalition. And,
yes, sir.
And they are very strong in the fact that the blacks, the melanated folks, are the original Jews. Now, there is nothing wrong with that take. Matter of fact, I actually believe that take. Why? Because, well, hear me out. Back in the day, when it came to religion, it was either about conquering and spreading your religion or just spreading your religion because you cared about your fellow man. Number two, we all know that a lot of people, they'll say that Jesus was what? Black man because of where he was born. And if not black, we can at least say he wasn't looking like moist critical. All right. We can all agree that that's not what he would look like.
Have you ever gotten into a discussion with the people who are like adamant, like they are like too adamant that there's no possible way that he could have been a black man when he was born in Egypt at Nazareth, you know? And you ever wonder how like they're always like this close to saying something that's just like racist because they're like offended at the thought that Jesus might be a black man? And it's like,
right. But hold on. Let me get to my point. Jesus, even in the Christian Bible, in the biblical ways and the stories, he was a Jewish man. So you can't tell me that way back in the day that a black Jew is some far-fetched thing that no one could believe. Because a lot of you believe it. So let's not act like that part of the idea is off the table. If that is what people thought, and there might be a history of people being conquered or forced out or pushed out of their own religion and it being usurped by another group of people, I'm not saying that that's something that could not have happened, because if anybody knows anything about history, that's kind of the MO of world power. I'm not saying that it happened. I'm just saying that there could be a way that it did. But where you start to cross the line is when you're telling me the Holocaust didn't happen, and even if it did, it wasn't that bad. And then going even further, because I don't know if you guys have seen the video of the black Israelites that were on the corner, and they were saying, Hitler ain't do nothing to my people, so why should I hate Hitler? Hitler was a great man because he knew that the blacks should have been in power. And I was like, so now you think Hitler was, you thought Hitler was team black? That's what you, huh?
First off, he hated us way more.
Because that can't be what you thought. Because that would just be an ignorant take. And then on top of that, then you're saying that the Jews deserve worse. And it's like, what are y'all doing? What do you hear yourselves when you talk? Because you can't be hearing yourself, right?
Talk to somebody. Like, go to somebody and understand that you should not be wishing a worse on any group for any sort of like trauma-related reasons, which clearly trauma-related reason. Like, so like, please talk to somebody and let them like talk some sense into you of the moment you say, no, man, they deserved worse. You gotta be like, damn, let me stop. Let me check myself for a second. Why do I feel like this? Like, come on.
Because then there's the other step of the process where, yes, there's another layer to this already confusing onion. But then people will go out of their way to say things like, guys, not only did the Jewish people steal our religion and our culture, they've impersonated their way to the top ranks of power. And now that they're on the top upper echelon of power, us blacks have been demoralized, taken advantage of for far too long. And yes, in history, people like us, we've been taking L's for quite a long time. Some would even say that we're taking L's to this very day because we are. Let's not act like this part of the story is far-fetched, because we see it every day. But then somehow they take that line of reasoning and then turn it to be, if you're of the Jewish faith, you're evil? What? What are we doing right now? You know?
Yo, did y'all know that Jesus was Jewish? Like that's a thing. That's, you know, that's in the text. That is something that's there. So you can't just say that they are evil, because you know, if your man's is the one who's like a part of it, you can't just sit here and be like, well, all of them are evil. They have evil intent. Their entire religion is evil. No, that's stupid. You're stupid. Look, everybody tries to make it seem like misinformation just came out like 2 years ago or some bullshit like that. But no, it's been streamlined maybe 2 years ago and changed.
People on
Misinformation has
Twitter
been around for ages.
People on Twitter who have clout and blue check marks could say just about anything, and people without even bothering to research it will just lap it up like a cat getting milk. Just using that tongue action. Just going in there, eating that information up, and then not only just liking and retweeting it, but then using the misinformation to bolster whatever hot take they might have in the quote retweets. And then it spreads. And then there's people who don't have the ability to critical think because they got a forehead that slopes in some weird alpine shape, because they can't be human. They got to be some alien hominid individual. Those people start echoing these things to the point to where, let's be honest, people now more than ever, because of social media, stick around like-minded folks. You follow people who already agree. Every time you tweet, you're preaching to the choir, because the contrarians are not people who are following you. So when you guys all get together in your Discord servers, your offbeat Skype calls, your YouTube comment section with people who already agree with you, which is why they're subscribed, click the bell for notifications and all of that, those people, you start to begin to culminate this hive mind where you guys begin to think that the average person thinks like this. 90% of the time, especially in these niche cases where you guys are talking about the MCU, not the MCU, the MSHEU, those
the
people,
worst ones.
Y'all have to understand that the vast majority of the people who have watched an MCU film at some point don't give a fuck about any of the things y'all are talking about.
Facts.
They don't give a flying flugen. They don't care. These are turn your brain off films, bro. It's not that deep, and it never was.
It's the modern day version of the times when people. I'm sorry. It's the modern day version of times when mostly white people literally believed that they had different sized brains than other races, and this was just something that. This was just spread around. They were like, yeah, that's fact. And that, you know, that fueled all kinds of racism that was legal. All kinds of racism that spawned things like the KKK, who are around now. Yeah, all that nonsense, you know? We all know now that is not true. There's still people out there who believe that because some dumbass on the internet made a YouTube video that says it. It says it now. And, you know, some of those people are like so terminally online that they're in all those shitty Discords, all those shitty forums and whatnot, where they just talk about shit like that. What is it? Kiwi Farms was like one of those places where people like that would live around and like spread around dumbass things like that. And that place got taken down. But, you know, they all moved somewhere else, probably on Reddit or one of the Chans or any of those things. Those people exist. We can't just say the existence of those people means that everyone in the world is like that. See, that's the problem that a lot of like common people are running into with social media. They see some of the crazier shit and they're like, oh my God, everybody's like this. And it's like, no. Please go outside, touch some grass, talk to your local, you know, retail store employee, talk to your local person who's out in the park, talk to your local person.
Well,
none of them know anything about that. Nick Fuentes. That's a name that people know now only because of Ye. And most people are just like, I've never heard of this guy, or who the hell is that?
Because
us terminally online folk, we're like, that's a Nazi. Let me tell you what all the things he's banned from. He's banned from PayPal. He can't even get money. Like, let
me tell you something that's really funny about that, right? So you talk about people who are terminally online, they may not know certain people or certain things. Have I told you about the ballad of one?
The ballad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have I told you about the ballad in the story of one Wings of Redemption?
Oh.
What about
probably?
What about one Dark Side Phil?
I mean, we all know about Dark Side Phil.
What about Low Tier God?
That man is still on YouTube. Actually, he's memeified now because of the kill yourself clip. Now they have pictures and whatnot. So people who literally don't know anything about his past, about his existence and whatnot, are using that meme on flyers in their schools and shit like that. Like, oh, this is funny. It's like,
what about Matt Jarbo, aka Mundane Matt? Huh? How about we go even bigger? What about Boogie 2988? When I go talk to people who are in my family, when I go to talk to people who I went to university with, when I talk to people who are my friends who aren't like super online and just, work their traditional 9 to 5 and just, live the regular normie life, none of those names are part of their experience. They don't know anything about them. They don't even know they exist. This whole Panda Global Smash conundrum, nobody knows. I can find people who are playing their Nintendo Switches right now and be like, so have you heard about Panda Cup? And they'd be like, what's that? It's for Smash. Exactly. I don't play that. I play Splatoon. Anyways, and like, this is not, and like, they wouldn't know. So we got to start acting like everything that you think is a big deal online is truly a big deal. Because let us be 100.
Age gaps are a big deal, sir. What are you talking about right now? Or come on now, what are you talking about? If he's 25 and she's 19, they should not be dating at all.
And it's like, so what if like he's 34 and she's 28? Well, that's fine. That's the same age, same gap. The same gap.
No, that's still a problematic age gap because one of them is at a different point in his life and he's older. So the power dynamic is that he has more power over her because he has more wisdom, and so I don't think that should happen like that.
So what you're saying is a childhood genius should make less than a 40-year-old factory worker? I mean, if it's about age, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Well, why are we talking about jobs all of a sudden, sir? I thought we were talking about relationships.
Well, look. Let's not act like I started the whataboutism here. You started that. So go on.
Yeah, a random online person is always like that. All right. And
because look,
random TikTok commenter is also like that.
Look, even when I went to university, right? The funniest thing to me anyway, the funniest experience that I've had is, I don't know if you were there when Trump won. I don't know if you were in school when Trump won.
I was.
But my favorite thing was when I got to school that morning after election day. Went to my morning class. I saw there was this group of girls, couple dudes, they were just crying in the annex. Like, they were crying. And I was like, I didn't get it at first because, like, in my mind, elections happen. You don't always win. Sometimes it just sucks like that. So I was going to class. I'm like, why did he have to win? And I'm like, See, it is. And then like they go into the statement of now all of my LGBTQ, we gotta like live in shelter and fear around every corner. And I'm like, I don't know what part of Tumblr or which sect, the Twitter or social media you were on, but you made it seem like the gremlins were about to start coming out of the sewers like Pennywise. Like, yeah, I can smell the homoeroticism.
That was the wildest thing about like everybody in that situation. Like, you see me, I'm on both sides, sir. No, but like everybody was thinking all these like crazy wild things were going to happen immediately. The people who were on the Trump side of things, all the Trump supporters thought, no, I can go outside and I can say the fuck. That's right. And they were like doing that. And then they were like, wait, officer, why are you taking me to jail? What's going on? Trump won. Hey, and then you had other people who were like crying and they're like, he's going to take away all my rights. And I'm not going to be able to see my friends who are, LGBT or of color or anything like that. He's going to ruin everything. And none of that happened immediately. You see, like, yes, it's good that those people understood that him winning was going to introduce those concepts to general society, but the problem was that they were acting like it was going to happen immediately. So the general population who does not understand that, they were just kind of like, why are these people being so fucking weird? What the hell? I mean, he's just president. I mean, like, he can't do that much damage, right? As president, he can't do that much damage, right? And, you know, the rest of us who understand how much power a president has or how much power a president gives to people who are in the Senate, Congress, etc., who also have the same agenda.
Things didn't get fucky until he was about time for him to hang up the boots, and that was when he decided to appoint those justices real fast.
Exactly. It took 4 years for most of those like big like issues that he put into play to even like be into play. That's why people always throw out the argument of like, they're like, well, Trump, we had the best economic time, after Trump became president. And it's like, yeah, immediately after, because of what Obama did when he was out, like for the 8 years he was president. Like the things he put into motion were setting us up to have like some amazing, amazing times in our lives. And then this dude shows up and is like, what? No, we gotta reverse a lot of those things. What the fuck? Nah, man, people are getting money. Nah, I want the money, me. And so it took him 4 years to do it, but he did it. And so people now are like, damn, we're struggling, inflation, all these other things. And it's like, well, yeah, because there were so many things done to fuck over the general populace so that rich people keep getting richer, billionaires or millionaires become billionaires, etc. That now it's like, well, those people can afford to live in society because, like, what McDonald's, your restaurant or your buying something at the food store is like $5 instead of $2 or whatever.
Because Kavanaugh didn't get into like what 2018.
Yeah,
that was like his second year. Because I know he got one like up in there like first year. The Gorsuch, whatever his last name is, I forget. And then he got the Amy girl in there because was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Ruth Ginsburg? Isn't that the one that died?
Yes, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. But about Gorsuch, whatever. About what's his name? That I believe that was a situation where Obama was president when the next Supreme Court justice needed to be selected, and he selected Merrick Garland, and then everyone on the right was like, no, since he's leaving, he should not be able to choose who's going to be the next Supreme Court justice moving forward. And then people were like convinced of like, oh, all right, well, I guess they're right. They made a case, and then Trump appointed someone. And then as Trump is leaving, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, and they're like, well, he's leaving. So, I mean, he's the president now, so he's got to choose. And they're like, what about all that shit you said
about
before?
Obama? Say, nah,
like,
man.
What are you talking about?
Nah, man, different rules.
This is now, sir. Like, come on. Time is of the essence. A woman died. And it's like,
Body wasn't even cold yet before that appointment happened.
Exactly.
Because do you know what day she died?
I don't remember.
I just went to go look. I just looked it up. She died September 18th.
Amy Coney Barrett was like 2 weeks after that?
Yep. My man waited 10 days, said, we need someone in there now.
And people, of course, were mad about that because they were like, well, one of the main reasons she was being put in there was because of her thoughts on abortion and how she was like, well, I believe it's in God's right. And so, we should not be killing babies and allowing that to happen. And they're like, yeah, this woman's going to vote on our side. And yeah. Well, I think like Kavanaugh was one of the only ones who was like, yo, this is kind of wrong. We should like let people choose. And that was like, but 2 weeks later, he voted on something where it's like, oh, never mind. He still is kind of awful. But like, at least he's like, hey, we should give these people a choice. But the wildest thing about that is how now you and I have to have a conversation of like, hey, did you hear that they're trying to vote on whether or not it should be okay for gay people to get married and interracial couples to get married? Just hearing that there are that many people who are trying to stop interracial marriage from happening, including people who are like literally married interracially, like that we have to have that conversation in 2022 is just like, you gotta be able to like view this as what it is. These people had a goal the whole time, and they're like, I don't care if it takes me 10 fucking years. I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna do it. And it's like, sir, everybody's okay with interracial marriage now. I don't care. We're gonna get it out because I don't like that. And it's like, oh,
look, here's the thing. I know a lot of people like, but I don't believe in systemic racism or systemic, abuse of power. And it's like, let me talk to y'all. Let me just talk to y'all. This is only going to take a small moment of your time.
To get rid of interracial marriage, and you don't believe in systemic racism? It's right there in the bill. Like,
but here's the thing I always like to point out. People are like, oh my God, this whole racial tension, it was so long ago. And it's like, okay, do y'all know about Ruby Bridges? Maybe some of y'all don't. Let me give you a brief little history lesson. At one point, guys and girls who looked like us, we were not allowed to go to the same scholastic institutions as our white and Caucasian counterparts. It's a little time known as segregation. People who look like us were given lesser textbooks, lesser facilities, less maintenance in worse areas, and therefore we would be not just a step, but a step, a skip, a jump, and 2 miles behind our other contemporaries. Now, you may say, yeah, that sucks, but that was so long ago. Let me tell you something about Miss Bridges. She was
still alive.
No, hold on. No, worse. It's worse.
Oh.
She is an American civil rights activist. Why? Because she was the first African-American child to desegregate to an all-white elementary school. She was the first to do it. First. Number one, patient zero, the very first black person to go to school with Caucasian people in a legal way. In 1960. Folks, this woman isn't even 70 years old yet.
Yep. Joe Byron is older than she is. Like, God damn.
And that man's in power as the president. So let me tell you something. There are people who are in power in our White House who are either roughly around this age, who have always been anti-black, or people who are around this age who have had children. And through nepotism, regardless if they were qualified or not, have found a way to scoot their way into the Oval Office or some of the offices adjacent to it. Now, my job isn't the big brain conspiracy theory here to make it seem like everything in the White House is always racist. That's not the point that I'm making. What I'm saying is, I have a father, all right? He had me late, but he was born in 1940. So he lived in a time where his older brothers, himself, people that he know, have very vivid memories of dogs being sicked on him by the police.
He was born 20 years before this woman was integrated into white schools. Please.
Hold on, wait, hold on. People were getting fire hoses blasted on them, full blast, no safety, just for being black in the street. And he's still alive. We are going to celebrate Christmas this year. He is now a whopping 82 years old. And y'all are going to tell me that we're super far from... No, these people still have pulses. They're still living. Some of them will still be living 30 years from now.
Yeah.
Some of them will be living in the year 2050. So you can't tell me that we are super far removed.
Supreme Court justices are the position where, like, you literally don't lose a position unless you die or you resign
or you step down. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, first off, who made that rule? Like, what the hell? I mean, maybe because people were dying like easier back then, or easier. People were dying at earlier ages back then, but like these people can now live to be like 120 or something like that, and it's like, yeah, he's still on there, and he's like, I don't want them to get married. And it's like, sir, please, because we're okay with this.
But you want to know something that's really funny? You know about Emmett Till, right? You know about that story, right?
Oh yeah.
So all I'm gonna say is this, and then we're gonna move on from this segment. But Emmett Till, if he didn't die, is still younger than my father.
Yep.
I just want to put that out there. Emmett Till could have been my dad. I just want y'all to think about that. I just want y'all to think. Not that long ago, y'all. Not that long ago. By the way, he died in 1955. And I know what you're thinking. 1955? Didn't you say the first time y'all went to school? The first time y'all went to school with somebody was in like 1960? Imagine how much changed in 5 years. And we were still treated like dog water. Because I don't know if you guys know this. Do you know when the Civil Rights Act was signed? It was 1964. Which means we were going to school with people who in a lot of states could still give us the Beats by Dre and not have a problem. So, I mean, let's not act like...
Yep.
Let's not act like this was so long ago. All right, guys, that's all I'm saying to you. Like, I'm getting tired of but that was so long ago excuse, as if those people who were perpetuating a lot of these negative pieces of our society don't have some form of power or have not passed on their power to their next generation, their sons and their daughters, and have raised them on these hateful rhetorics of the yesteryear. Now,
mind you, so they are trying to codify. I believe they actually voted to codify gay marriage, but it has been, brought to everyone's attention that Clarence Thomas, the main man who's been pushing for this, was like, interracial marriage is next. That man is a black man married to a white woman. This white woman who wanted him to put in motion making interracial marriage illegal. They don't most of those people don't really give a fuck about like the rules, because they're like, well, that's not going to apply to me. And it's like, well, see you in jail. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they want a reality that doesn't even fit their own. It doesn't even fit their own lives. Like, so when it comes to people who are like for these things, usually they're insane. But most citizens don't know much about this, because they can't really trust a lot of news places to actually like cover these things properly, because a lot of them have their own agendas. A lot of them have their own things that they're going to report on or not report on, and it's not just a matter of like whether it's Hunter Biden and like right-wing topics being like censored or whatever. It's also some left-wing things too. Either there's not really a lot of news places that aren't like internet only that will cover these things properly, so that everyone actually just has the information to understand it, so that they can like vote accordingly, or like make sure that the right people are put in place to make sure that these asinine things don't happen and we don't end up in 1964 again. So yeah. Everybody always talks about everybody tries to talk about like fascism and all that shit, but those things don't happen. Like, it's not some random dude. It's not like all those weird movies are about Hitler. All right. It's not going to be some dude just shows up with an army and goes, it's all nothing now. And it's like, no, it's going to be quiet. It's all going to be very quiet. And most of the shit that Elon Musk is like talking about, where it's like, we don't want fascism to happen. It's like, you're doing it. Like, you're literally doing it right now. You want people to just bend to your will and do whatever it is you want them to do. And also you want them to call you cool. You're not cool, man. You're divorced. You're not cool. Like, no, man. We get it that you want, everyone to like love you and stuff, but like, just give us money. Like if you gave me $1 billion, I'll be like, yeah, man, Elon Musk is a cool dude. But since I'm not getting that from him, I'm gonna tell the truth. Nah, man, you're weird. You're being weird.
Because I also don't like this whole ideology that both the left and the right, they both do it, where, as we talked about earlier, when Hillary Clinton had some emails and everybody wanted to see them, those same people didn't want to see what Trump was taking home with him, right? But at the same time, Everybody who wanted to say, but Trump said grab him by the pussy. Yeah, Trump's he wants to just grab him and just do whatever he wants with women. He objectifies them. And they wanted to talk about that and have that in their crosshairs forever. But no one wants to talk about when Hillary Clinton was calling people who look like us super predators. All of a sudden, I mean, too many people didn't want to talk about that. I'm not saying nobody on either side wanted to talk about those things. But there wasn't enough. There was not enough chatter for that.
It's because
that's all
of,
I'm saying.
In most cases, people were like, well, she's not going to like just come out and like say those things or whatever if she became president versus Trump, who would be like, yeah, you know, there's thugs over there.
Hey, if we caught her in, well, it wasn't HD. It was like 144 people. We got the footage. We seen it.
Yeah, we got the footage from a time where everybody was saying it. So like it was like you could just be like, oh well, that was the time.
I don't think we need to vote for any of them. Nah. Well, forget all that. There was the time.
You're right. You're right. We shouldn't have to like, but since we were stuck with the choices, it was like people were like, well, this one is going to at least make sure that I'm not going to like lose all my rights. She's just going to be very quiet about her hatred of me, you know, that sort of thing. But then there was that weird time when, like, Bernie Sanders was running to become the candidate for to go against Trump when he like lost to Joe Biden or whatever. But she came out and she was like, Bernie Sanders is fucking terrible. You know, he's the worst. That's when you were like, look, okay, mask off. That's her. That's her for real.
Nah. You want to know the ultimate mask off moment for Hillary Clinton?
When she got sick?
Nah. When your boy when Barry Sanders got up there on that podium and was talking about, you look at Sweden, you look at all this healthcare that, you know, like all these other countries are doing healthcare and making it free so that their people can live long, healthy lives without fear of being, you know, living on the streets because they got an injury or something hurt them or they get an illness that they couldn't have prepared for. Looking at COVID. And they don't have to worry about fighting for life and limb with incredible medical bills, those ventilators that some people were on, and having to work and just ignoring blatant health issues because they know they don't have the money to go see a licensed physician. You know, all of that stuff, right? And then talking about Sweden and other countries. And then what was Hillary's response? What was her rebuttal? How did she shut it down? How did she get the rest of the people who were viewing the spectacle live to start cheering and chanting her name? What type of ironclad ace in the hole, 5 pieces of Exodia assembled level elite line of logic did she follow to just
come on, go to the polls?
No, it's worse. What did she do to pull out the ace in the hole, rabbit out the hat, magical elixir to cement herself as the leader of the DMC? How did she do it? She said, well, this isn't Sweden. This is America. That's it. That's what she said. And that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the funniest part about it is I always think of that episode of Family Guy where Lois was, I don't forget if she was remembering for mayor or governor of Quahog. But it got to a point where she's like, I'm saying all the right things and no one cares. Nah, man, you got to stick to something that's universal. 9/11 was bad. Woo! Then she just started saying 9/11. Yeah, let's go. USA. And it's like, we watched it play out on a cartoon and we laughed. We scoffed at the idea that we could live in a world where that's a realistic way to secure a W in the office. Then we lived it. We watched it happen in 4K and we were just like, 9/11. 9/11. Like, my God, dude. Absolute tragedy there. But as we go from one tragedy, let's hit a little bit of a paradigm shift. Oh, wait, hold on.
Quick,
you got some more?
Real quick comment on that. This is the whole thing of like, people don't understand the levels between like left and right. Like, you know, the Hillary Clintons and the established Democrats and whatnot, they're like barely left. They're more center than anything else, right? those people are not going to be looking out for you. You know, they're going to be looking out for them and their money, right? So
they do what the pocket tells them to do.
Yeah. So like, what is the opposition do? They decide we're going to take these people and then tell the general populace this is what the left is. No, they're really not. Like most people, like who are like,
to be fair, the left does that about the right too.
Yeah, I get that. They're like, anyone who's like further left than that, they're like, we hate these people. We don't want them to win either, but we all understand the system and we have to go through them first to get better people to be able to have the opportunity to even like get there. Bernie Sanders has lost 3 fucking times now. All right. Like,
look, as a people, like we just gotta go ahead and accept the L that we've allowed the political system to devolve to this point to where we really think that people have power. And then we turn around and just say, but if you vote for them, you're throwing your vote away. And it's like, evil on the left, evil on the right, good people in the middle. And you go, well, if I vote for the good, no one cares. So evil on the left will be good for me. No, evil on the right's the one. And it's like, come on, guys. Come on. Stop doing this.
Well, in that situation, usually the left are the ones who are like, well, we're not going to be like evil. We're just gonna be a little bit. We're just gonna, protect our money and then let them live their lives however the fuck they want to live their lives or whatever. Other side is like different. But like even with the right, there are people who are like, more center right who have reasonable, ideals, or like their ideals are more with like the established Democrats and whatnot, where it's like, okay, if I have to choose between, Hillary Clinton and this guy,
but here's the thing. I've had my fair share of people who talk left politics, and a lot of the stuff they claim to stand on is mad fake, no foundation. Especially when we start talking about like the homeless. The homeless should have free places to stay, safe places to stay, and I think we should build some systemic government subsidized places to where they can be safe and find shelter. 20 minutes later. Well, we gotta build it somewhere. So can we put it in your district? No! I don't want the homeless gaggles of homeless folk living in my area. And it's like, hello? What do you?
Those people
you gotta put them somewhere.
They're usually more liberal or more like center left. And they care about their money and they're like, their posh
my property value.
But but the thing that's weird about the right now is that like more far right people are being pushed towards the center in the sense of like their political ideals are being pushed as if it's the center. And so people in general are seeing that and thinking, oh, this is what it means to be, on that side. And
some people are like,
and then
all I'll say is this is the best analogy that I can give you using pop culture as like the main reference here. A lot of Republicans have sold y'all on Captain America while they're really just U.S. agent.
There we go. See? The whole point is that they're trying to make it seem like, Captain America was the old way. But if we really want to get some progress done, we need U.S. agent over here. And it's like, no, we shouldn't. Once you get to a point where people are like, people are going to like Nick Fuentes' Groiper like rallies and whatnot, and then trying to be like, well, I don't even know who that guy is. It's like, ma'am, the video right here you are. Like you're speaking at his event. You don't know him? Oh, he's just a guy that hired me for something. Oh, word.
So as long as the check clears, you'll do anything? You don't even...
Right. Tell me more about how Walmart needs to stop selling dildos because somehow that's going to ruin children. Like, do you read words, please? Like, it's like, the kids are not going to, they're going to be like, what is that? Or they're going to be like, TikTok, show me about that. I don't need that. It doesn't matter.
So what next time your favorite child, we'll go with your youngest, wants to learn that what is a horny rhinoceros because it doesn't know the word horned. Yeah, y'all gonna say hello to the furry child you're about to have.
That action needs to be stopped. How dare they allow them to know what the horned rhinoceros is? The horny rhinoceros. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to grow my children.
Down with Google. Kill the search engine. It's like, just maybe, moderate what your children are getting into on the internet. Just a little bit. Every now and then, maybe every 45 minutes, just pop in. What you doing?
Also, information doesn't groom children. All right, information makes them more informed, so that they can make more informed decisions. All right, if you tell a kid
misinformation, misinformation can do it though.
Exactly.
That's why I say
kid,
you need to be supervising your children on the internet. That's all I'm saying. Like, yo, bro, hit them with the "Are you winning?" You don't even know if they playing the game. Just "Are you winning, son?" And he's like,
"You're winning, son."
Excuse me. Why does Sonic the Hedgehog have an inner tube going up? Hey! That's enough internet. Nah, man. What are you looking at?
Exactly.
Like that's all it takes.
If they see the box in the Walmart, just mind your fucking business and be like, "Look, Timmy, you're not old enough for that." All right, and, or simply like that's for adults. For a special time for adults, not for you.
And since many of y'all are like our age or a little bit older, y'all have seen enough text. Y'all are tech savvy enough. You're not your parents to where y'all know how to set up a parental block. Y'all know how to do it. Y'all know how to set time locks on your computers, tablets, phone. You guys know how to do that. So get to it if you really care that much. Otherwise, if you just let them fall into the wild, wild west, like I said on the last episode, sure, they may be looking at Big Chungus now. They might be saying, "Oh, this frog is actually a funny emote in my favorite streamer's chat. What's it about?" Now they're on a 4chan message board learning about how to 3D print guns and paraphernalia and how the South will rise again.
Bro.
And it's like, yes, that may be a quote unquote exaggerated rabbit hole that someone can go down, but let's not act like we all haven't been on a rabbit hole search where we went to look for one thing and found a whole lot more.
Also, let's be real. Let's not make it seem like the rabbit hole is what took the children down that path. Usually it's like the family, the parents, the people that they're around who've been giving that to them since birth. And so they've been parroting that stuff. And then they're like, yeah, well, my parents told me about this and this is reality right here. The government's trying to take everything away from me and I will not stand for the tyranny of that. And it's like,
some of these children don't have a relationship with anybody outside of the 16:9 apparatus that sits in front of their face. Like, at dinner time, they own their phone. They go out to eat, they own their phone. A lot of these content creators are raising the next generation because it's damn sure not the fucking parents, bro. And that is a scary thought.
Nah, man, good parents still exist.
I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm just saying there's too many that aren't, bro.
Nah, man, we see a minority. There's still a lot of good parents out there.
They can still be a minority, and there can still be too many. Just like how when I say there's a lot, that doesn't mean most, but a lot is too many. Do not make excuses. I want these people.
Look. Yes, a lot of them are on their phones a lot and things like that. But we can't just say, "Oh, well, because it's the phone that's doing the thing." Like there's something that puts them on the pathway to get there. You know what I mean? Like Timmy's got to Google, like, how do I get guns? Or you know what I mean? Something's telling him, like,
it doesn't have to just be guns. You could be following someone and you could be like, yeah, I agree with that. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but sometimes you might watch like 2 seconds of a YouTube video and then all of a sudden your entire YouTube recommendations are completely something else now. Oh, because you watch like 20 seconds of one, you're like, what the heck is louder with Crowder? You click on it. Now it's like, oh man, you like Crowder. Now you got Nick Fuentes. Then you got
I watched a Shoe on Head video and now I got Lauren Chen in my recommendations. Trust me, I know. But like, yeah. Usually okay.
I was gonna say, so don't act like you can't stumble into these things, bro.
Yes, it's very possible. And like it's very hard to do anything about that with the algorithm because the algorithm is like it doesn't have nuance to it, unfortunately. It's just like, hey, you like this, and people who like this usually watch this. That's the most it can think. So
yeah, but see, we're adults. We have critical thinking ability. I'm talking about like when it comes to like young teenagers who are just out there, they can find themselves in some shaftery.
Oh nah! As a parent, you just gotta make sure they're not, going down the wrong.
That's my point.
Hole.
That is my point.
That's all.
That is the only point that I'm making.
It sucks that there's like not like enough to deal with that, but it's very hard to have like a solution because, I mean, the websites can't have a solution for that. They can't make their website just in case like a teenager reads too much into it or whatever. But like, what are you gonna tell a parent? Don't you tell me how to raise my child? All right.
Well, yes. I won't tell you.
See you in 2 years.
But I'm gonna judge your child. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Or how, like, you know, every thread that has anything to do with any of the Paul brothers and becomes just somehow devolves somewhere into a shit slinging contest about, well, he's gonna beat up another black man.
Also,
and it's like, bro, what are we doing right now, y'all?
Also, grooming requires like a lot of like negligence in
on
some
the parents'
cases.
behalf.
Yeah, like this person has to have like a lot of access to the child, and so like just pay attention to some of the people that they're interacting with if you can. You know, some kids are like, some kids it's hard, but like pay attention. That's all. Just pay attention. You know, like usually those things happen because the kids feel neglected by their parents in some sort of way. They feel like, you know, they're not being listened to, all kinds of things like that. And then some adult decides, oh, well, I'll listen to you. And then it turns into an episode of Law and Order.
You definitely chose the right voice. I'll listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just make sure that like you don't. Yeah, just try to pay attention as much as possible. You know, I know in some cases, like some parents couldn't like prevent that sort of thing from happening because, you know, they're working or like, you know, whatever. There are situations where
like your 14-year-old daughter, like, I know it's an invasion of privacy, but if they 14, you need to be checking if they Instagram, they Twitter and all that other stuff got DMs and who them DMs is coming from.
Yeah, but like one thing that's being noted now is that all this bullshit of like these like weirdos who are trying to like make it seem like drag shows and like talking to a gay person is like grooming the kids is taken away from the actual problems that you have to like worry about, the actual predators out there, and that's not good for the kids. So
here's the thing about drag shows, right? I see all the people talking about that and, you know, that they quote unquote discuss it, and it's like, okay, then don't take your kids.
Yeah.
Because I know what some people are going to say, but what about, but what about, you know, people? I was like, bro, y'all went to the circus when y'all was kids and y'all watched the cross-dresser people. You watched the people who are the bearded ladies. You were there. You saw it. You did not have a problem with it then. You didn't care. Why? Because you told you made sure that they knew this was like a fringe thing. Some of y'all might call it a sideshow act. I don't know if that's disrespectful or not, but y'all know what I mean. Y'all were there to set the foundation of this is a take on life, but it's not necessarily falling within the social norms. And you taught your kids what the norms were, what the social rule book and what the standard ideologies are. Like you at least gave them a frame of reference to work within. You told them they can make their own decisions, but you at least gave them a schematic on normalcy and what that is.
Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids.
You had a conversation that set the tone for, hey, if you need something, I'll be there. If you ever feel like the wheels falling off, I'll be there. Some kids, they don't get that. They don't have that structure. So they'll just go online and just see somebody living a life and just say, well, I want that type of positive feedback. So they think that life's for them. And then it wasn't. And then, hey, lo and behold, they too deep in the sauce. And who are they going to go to? The people who are going to tell them that that's the life for them.
We also got to tell some of these parents, you know, listen to your kids more than you listen to these like random content creators who are trying to like make you believe that like danger is everywhere and all this other like crazy shit. Like, look, Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro are not telling you what your kids are thinking at that moment. Your kids are telling you that. So like, just listen to them, you know?
Because I know there was this thing that was on Twitter. It was like, would you allow your kid to enter a drag show? And I was like, first of all, I don't think that 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, I don't even think people who are 15 or under should be anywhere near these, put them on a platform and make them look sexy in any kind of way. Shows should exist, whether it's a drag show, whether it's a beauty pageant, because I just think that's weird. Like, it's one thing if it's just like, if they just want to dress up and it's clearly for fun. But y'all be taking it like it's a comp. Like y'all be like, now we are esports, and like the kids ain't even having fun. y'all working them like slaves.
Exactly. Like just don't do any of that, please.
It's like at that point, it's like no, because that's weird. Because then y'all be getting like y'all don't be really checking. Y'all will turn a blind eye to things. I mean, look at Jeanette McCurdy and how her career turned out. Like, yeah, you know, y'all be turning. Her
mom was awful.
Yeah, I'm saying y'all be turning like y'all be having like. Y'all be turning blind eyes to things, and then her mom was just intentionally malicious. But you know what I mean?
Hurt people hurt people.
Hey, some of these people ain't been hurt enough, and they still be hurting people, bro. Let's
All
relax.
right. Anyways,
hey, man, all I'm saying is there's some people who need to be under the jail. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They gotta go. Shadow Realm. GG no risky. Don't want them. I don't want to breathe in my air. Waste of oxygen. You see this wide set of nostrils? A lot of air. I think we're willing to part with some of these folks. Big sniff. That's all I'm saying, bro. But moving past that, you got the whole OTK debacle about your boy, young Rich Campbell, out here apparently touching up on people and kicking them to the curb at 3 a.m. So,
one of the founders, buddy.
I just want to know, what are your thoughts about that? Because, all right, let's hear it.
What are my thoughts? Oh, well, it's very obvious that like there are more people who just haven't come forward yet. You know, the behavior of the people surrounding this is that like there are more people who haven't come forward. So it's done so for this dude. Like he shouldn't like. Unfortunately, it seems like this is a situation where charges are not going to be able to be like made against him. But like, if possible, they should be, because this man committed crimes. Obviously committed crimes.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that's weird. How long has he been dating that other chick?
What, Mia Malkova?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how long it's been. It's been at least a year, I think.
Okay, because I just think it's weird how they set this up, because the person who came forward, you know, she showed the text messages, and it's like apparently they had an on and off relationship, and she is aware of some of his fetishes, in which apparently their on and off sexual relationship stemmed far before this incident in question took place. So he's hitting her up. The "what you doing" text. Come on over, let's hang out. First of all, I'm not saying, I just want to make this as crystal clear as possible. I'm not saying that anybody is asking for it. I'm just saying, in my mind, right here in this cranium cap, I see that as a gigantic red flag. Like someone you've been on and off with sexually, who you know, by your own admission, you thought only saw you as a sex object, is inviting you over for a late night nightcap.
Now,
I'm going to put on my Usain Bolt cosplay and I'm sprinting in the opposite direction.
Now, you do know this is why a lot of people have trouble like reporting these things or even talking
absolutely.
About. Yeah.
I talk about this every time one of these comes up, because I get to that point. And this frame of mind is why people usually don't come forward, because they know people will think like this. But here's the thing. I'm not the police. That's number one. So honestly, all of our opinions,
but like,
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish, sir. Let me finish. I've said this before, and I will say it again. People who are her friends need to have her back and need to have 100% full support of her. Because the sexual assault is no thing to play with. It is monumental and can affect your very mental psyche moving forward, okay? I want to get that out there first and foremost. Second of all, you can leave the speculation and the hearsay to the people who are just outside observers looking in. They'll come to their own conclusions, but at the end of the day, we have to understand that their conclusions do not matter. Our conclusions don't really matter. We're going to give them to you because we're entertaining, but my point is they don't matter. I'm 100% aware of that. Number three, it is unfortunate that we have police officers who will use this and not look at the evidence, not care about the evidence, but will jump to conclusions because they are also outside observers. And they're going to use what they believe to be, quote unquote, common sense. And ask these questions, well, why? And it's like, you don't understand. If they have an on and off relationship and the relationship is off, it should not be unreasonable to think that it's okay to hang out with this person because they haven't hurt you. They haven't been evil. You just think that there's some disconnect that makes it to where y'all aren't compatible for a relationship. And that's not illegal to hang out with someone, because people can break up on amicable terms. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's a thing that can happen, especially if he was already dating the new girl, there's no reason to think that he would need or request more. This is the part I was trying to get to. Stop stealing my thunder, mate. So, while you could have the thought process that I would have that I wouldn't do it, just because someone did do it does not mean that they can't be a victim. Because here's the thing. You might go over to a friend's house. You've known this friend. You guys have been hanging out. Y'all took a selfie 24 hours before it posted on the internet, and y'all cool. Y'all great. Y'all elite. Y'all in the same hotel room. You knew that, like, I got a little drunk last night and I needed a place to stay, and he gave me a place to stay. And that's a great story. They gave me a place to stay because I was drunk. This is hypothetical. This isn't part of the OTK thing. And that's great. Good guy Jim, good guy Slim, good girl Sally saw you were down, protected you, gave you a place. Same story. 90% the same. All of a sudden, good old LaSalle's like, oh, looking good in that bed, but you too sluts to say no. And he gives you the business. Now, all of a sudden, people are going to start thinking, why are you out drinking? Why are you out with people who you can't trust? So you're a little drunk and you go back with a man who's clearly interested in you? You're the one to blame. Like, see how you skipped a lot of steps there? My point is, yes, you can look at it, but you don't like, none of us have all the facts because we're not them. There are things that happen within those four walls that we will never know. But what you need to understand is, usually when something is wrong or something goes left, especially with an org the size of OTK, usually if there is reasonable doubt and there's muddy waters and there's no way he would do this, there would at least be a stand of, we're investigating this. This was frame one. Get out, resign.
That's what I said. Like, what? Well, I don't know why you brought all that up. Like, that was, my point.
Yeah, but I was making my point. You came in there and I was like, hold on, let me get to, I was doing a thing.
So
let me lead them to the water. I can't make y'all drink, but I can lead you to the water now. But yes, go off now, Mr. King.
What do you go off on? What? That's the point. Like, yes, they immediately were like, yeah, he's out of here. And their words on it was insinuating that maybe there are more people who have had this experience with this dude. And so he's out of here because maybe they know something that we don't, and maybe they'll like make it public, or maybe they won't. But like the fact of the matter is, it wasn't, hey, yeah, we're gonna like investigate this and see more about what's going on. None of that shit. Or Rich Campbell's gonna go on a break for a while and then he might come back and stream, but we're very, very upset about his behavior or whatever. That's good. So like they were just immediately like, nah, we want him to resign. And then he's like, yeah, I'm resigning. Like, even he was like, yeah.
And there are people who are part of the organization who were just like, look, there's some things that we know. And nah, bro, it's unfortunate, but he's got to go. And it's just like, bro, if there's anybody who's ever going to have your back, it should be these people. And they don't have your back. So that tells me, watch out for Squidward. Mr. Campbell is Squidward in this example.
I mean, look, Rich Campbell, I don't think he's either going to go scorched earth, or he's going to be like, I'm very sorry for all these things that have happened or whatever. But the problem is that it seems like he'll get away with like, I got fired, but I'll be able to like find a different org or, something, and then continue my life or whatever. He's not really going to suffer like huge consequences for this, like some of the other people who have been exposed in these types of situations. Like, nothing really came about it. What is it like? What was it that I said about the whole like Crazy Slick situation? That like Crazy Slick, Miskiff and Maya, especially Miskiff and Maya, who were, and all the other people who were like found out to have like covered up that situation or whatever, they're going to disappear for a while, and they're going to come back, maybe say I'm sorry, and then they're going to like do streaming as usual. They're not going to get anything big, especially Miskiff, who like everyone was looking at as like he was crying, man. He's like, yo, that's my best friend. You know, like what was it? The heavenly controller situation with Griffey, you know, Griffey's crying, he's my bro, you know, and look at that. Heavenly controller still does, you know, whatever he does. Griffey is mad that he gets censored by platforms for just saying all kinds of controversial things that he knows that nobody's gonna be like cool with on these platforms from a business standpoint. And so he like, well, I think he like made like an OnlyFans or some shit like that to post his skits on so that people will like go there, you know? But he's still making his content the way he does, and people have kind of like forgotten about the situation. Miskiff, he still streams from what I see. Like what, Maya, I think God, there was like some other dude that's a part of like OTK that was like involved in that situation. But yeah, all those people, they still stream, they still do whatever, they still have their like, you know, their fans, their subs, all that shit, and they're like, that's about it. They just had to take a break for like a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, disappear for a while, let it all like just leave the zeitgeist, and then they come back, and then it's fine. Rich Campbell is going to disappear for a while, unless someone takes him to court, or you know, the police get involved, any kind of thing like that. Now, what is it? Asmongold was saying that the authorities should get involved or whatever. He said they OTK would be cooperative if the authorities get involved, but like so far it seems like nobody's gonna call the cops, or nobody's gonna be able to, because you know, he said she said stuff is very complicated, and like I know a lot of victims don't want to deal with that bullshit, because it just becomes like such a problem, and they get a lot of harassment that they do not deserve. So it sucks. It honestly sucks. Like when I hear about stuff like this, I'm like, this sucks, because nobody's really gonna get like the justice that needs that like they deserve.
The punishments of any severity that will let people learn a lesson here are not going to be doled out. Like that's not happening.
Right.
Much like,
I mean, maybe Rich Campbell will learn a lesson from being fired from OTK. Maybe that's enough. Probably not.
So there's that whole thing that you deal with.
Are you following me?
Then, if you even look further to the left, oh, okay. So we got people in the chat who want to get banned. All right, ban. Get them out of here. We throw them right up out of here. Which, once again, Twitch, you didn't even do anything about that filter.
Why?
You never did it.
Actually, it's greatly appreciated.
Filter?
Yep, you never did it.
What filter are you talking about?
Oh, well, you can't say various slurs in the chat. You know?
Oh, well. That, you know.
Y'all can't see those messages because I got the auto mod. Don't worry, I did it. I'm throwing them out the club.
They're like, hey, you have all these amazing tools like AutoMod to deal with it. That's literally the email that you get if you like report somebody and things like that. So like, yeah. As a creator, you have the AutoMod and modification tools that will help you deal with this situation. So yeah, I think we're doing a very good job. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta pat themselves on the back. You know how it is. Same day shipping with the dumb stuff that they like to put out here. But once again, I digress. Even when you push past that and you look into the deeper parts of the issue, especially when it comes to content creators, there is a whole secondary level of just dumb shit that we see every day. I'll give you another example. Have you heard of the Miss Nerdy Curvy thing that's going on?
Yes, and it's very dumb. I actually forgot to bring that up as like something we should talk about, but now that you brought it up,
because
it's very stupid.
I don't know if any of you guys know, but basically a streamer was going on saying, all right, guys, I haven't seen this person in my chat in a while. Where you been at? And they decided to say in a dejected tone of voice, sorry, been away for the past few months because my mom died. And their response was not to say, hey, you know what, that sucks. I'm sorry that you're going through that right now, but hopefully this stream can make your day and your journey and your road to recovery just a little bit easier. And then immediately pop right back into whatever it is that they were going to do on their regularly scheduled program of the stream, which I figured would be a very automatic response that you would have towards anyone who has been a long-term viewer, especially one that was long-term enough for you to remember their name. And after not seeing it for months, remember, hey, I know who you are. You used to be a regular. What happened to you? And the fact that that wasn't even an auto response that triggered in the back part of your mind just goes ahead and tells me that you are either terminally online and just don't know how to talk to people because you've never had any sort of reasonable connections or real connections with the outside world and people to talk to, or you had a mask off moment, a little bit of a slip where you forgot to put on the mask and you're actually just a giant sack of shit and an asshole. Which we then went to later find out, because you saw the apology video, that wasn't an apology. His apology was like, yeah, I was kind of a cunt, but y'all shouldn't have booed me that hard because I was right.
Oh, word? It's like, oh yeah, she's fucking up the vibe by bringing up her mom. It's like, you asked, bro. You asked, like, hey, why haven't you been around for so long? And she's like, my mom died. It's like, that's it. That was the extent of that conversation. And that person still apologized. And he was like, no, man, no apology. You're over here fucking up the vibe, coming in here with all that sad shit. And it's like, what are you talking about, my guy? what, people are allowed to have feelings. If you don't want your community to have feelings, like, just stop streaming, man. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like it makes no sense for you to be like, oh, you're fucking up the vibes by coming here talking about real shit. I don't want to talk about real shit. It's like, then just tell everybody you're a robot, you know? Like, who fucking cares about you, your stream, any of that shit? If you can't respond accordingly to someone who said that they went through the tragic event of losing a mother, like, bro, we don't care if you don't like your mom. Like just be like, hey, I'm sorry, that sucks. Most of the time, when I've had conversations with people who talk about like getting consoled and stuff like that, they're like, I don't want all that fancy shit or whatever. I just want to be like, damn, that sucks. I'm sorry. Or like, damn, that sucks. And I understand, because you can't say anything that's really going to like,
you can't bring the mom back, bro.
Exactly. You can't bring the mom back. So like, just acknowledge that you understand that it's a sad event and move on, you know? Try to have a regular conversation with this person, because that's probably what they're looking for in the first place. Some like normalcy in their life.
A crumb of empathy, please. Just a crumb.
I think from what I saw on Twitter, this girl, like, she apologized even about bringing it up on Twitter and pointing it out of like, I'm not trying to like, drama farm or anything like that. I'm really just trying to like point out that this is not how you behave. This is not how you treat someone who is a part of your stream. And it's like, yeah. And still then they were being apologetic, and that's so heartbreaking, like, this person clearly did not need to apologize about shit. Like, there's nothing you did wrong for being like, yeah, I was gone because I lost my mother and I was dealing with that. And it's like, that sucks. Everyone would look at that and be like, that sucks. I understand. I wouldn't want you to just come to my stream right away. I'm just some guy, simple as that. But that dude took a turn. He had a moment, and now I don't know. Maybe his stream is going to go down a bit. We're all going to forget about him in like a week.
By the time this episode's out, y'all probably already forgot about him. You'll be like, damn, that was a thing that happened. That's crazy. And he gone tomorrow. And sometimes it's just that easy, folks. It's just that. It's all it is. But even when you move past that, we obviously have Street Fighter outrage, which isn't what you think it is, especially in the landscape in which Street Fighter V had its launch period. People were upset, but this is not that. This is somebody who found out they weren't the main character. Mr. Fraudulence, take it away.
So a guy, should I even say his name? Should I just leave that out? Because it doesn't.
You might as well say his name. You might as well.
What is it? Nihongo Gamer or Nihongo Gaming? One of those. This guy tweets his frustration with not getting into the Street Fighter 6 beta and talks about how it's such a travesty that Capcom would put people through this process and like pick and choose favorites of who gets to be in this beta for this item and whatnot. And like, people, of course, were like roasting this dude, retweeting this, like, oh my God, look at this guy. He thinks he's the main character. He thinks he's so important. But that's not what bothers me. All right. After people were nice enough to reach out to him and be like, "Hey, do you like I could get you a code, or like, you know, I have a way for you to get a code. You could buy a code from here, you know, that all that kind of stuff, right?" He said all that, like they sent him that, and he denied them. Not only because of it's the principle behind the matter of Capcom even doing this, but because he was gonna be too busy to play the beta in the first place.
So the funny thing about it, me, right, is the original tweet, word for word, is unsurprisingly, a small influencer like me didn't get into the Street Fighter 6 closed beta again. With a follow-up tweet that says, the lesson here is don't be a good boy, don't follow rules, don't make wholesome content, don't avoid drama, don't support companies, don't avoid hacked and cracked software. Just do whatever you want because nice guys come last. That is the only lesson here. Then he follows that up by saying, I've spent my whole life trying to be a nice guy, and that'll never change.
That was the one.
But the lesson is clear. Nothing is gained because you deserve it. That'll always come down to whoever is the hungriest. And this is all over Street Fighter 6 beta that he allegedly was too big to play. But I want to go back to that first tweet. He said, unsurprisingly, a small influencer like me didn't get into the Street Fighter 6 closed beta. Now, what's funny about that is I don't know if you know about this guy's statistics, but if you were to hop over to his YouTube, you'll find out that he's not only just a YouTube partner, he's got 270,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. If you were to look at his videos, they don't make a whole lot of views, but they average anywhere from 20K views to 130K views. So, you know, relatively sizable in that aspect. Then you're like, okay, well, then he's clearly got to be a nobody on Twitter. Well, on Twitter, he's rocking about 11,000 followers, and he's got over 16,000 followers on this very platform, Twitch. So when he says small, it's like, so what do you mean by that? Because that just sounds like cap to me personally.
No, he's saying, I'm not Jay Wong. Why won't they love me like Jay Wong? You know, that sort of thing. Like, that's the sentiment. But like, still, it's dumb. Like, Capcom is not playing favorites. Yeah, some are gonna get guaranteed beta codes, but like, you know, Flo didn't even get a beta code, and you know that he's one of the most popular players out there, especially when it comes to Street Fighter. So like, yeah, there are lots of players who just didn't get a code who were popular people who would have like promoted the content more in the way that Capcom would have wanted or whatever the fuck. But going out of your way to be like, oh, don't be a nice guy or whatever, like you're just giving people your projection on like your career as like a quote unquote influencer. Like look, go to sleep, please.
Close the laptop and wake up the same niche influencer you were when you went to bed, bro.
Yeah, like if you're doing this as a job, maybe stop or take a break or something. Like it sounds like you're getting burnt out or something.
Because you want to know what's funny? I actually pulled up their YouTube channel. And do you want to know what their last 10 videos are? I'm just going to read you the titles.
All right.
This 22-inch 𝘾𝙡𝙤𝙪 is still an awesome tablet 5 years later. Now,
it's not Street Fighter related.
Can this PS5 controller replace an arcade stick? This one game just taught me all fighting games. And it's an indie game that like has like a whole bunch of tech tutorials. No, it's not Dive Kick. No, it is not. God, what's the game with the stick figures? The footsie.
Oh,
the footsie game.
Senior footsies? Or no,
yeah.
Footsies.
Yeah, that is what it's called. Okay. The next one is Power of a PC, Convenience of Console. Talking about, you know, a laptop and, you know, stuff like that. Then it's a PS5 portable 4K HDR is insane. The next video, did Victrix make the best PS5 Pro controller fight pad? So it's a fight pad review. And that one is Street Fighter 5. As the first one we see that is something that is Street Fighter 5 related. Then, the best way to hold your controller and win a tournament. Yeah.
I mean,
and he's got this weird like side box cube like controller.
All right. Well, yeah, it sounds like Burnout talking.
And then it's new characters, but with a family-friendly design change. And he's playing Melty Blood.
Family-friendly design Yo. Okay. I'm gonna pass that. Look, once you get to the point where you're saying, "Well, I'm a nice guy," it's over. You've ruined it for yourself. Nobody hears the phrase "I'm a nice guy" and thinks good things anymore. Why? Because lots of dudes have said "I'm a nice guy" and turned out to be the worst guy. The worst guys.
They turned out to be perfect incel.
Yeah. So like that's not a phrase that's good, especially if you're playing the game on YouTube with these like titles for your shit, the clickbaity titles.
It's like that you are well enough educated in the world of, that's a stupid phrase. You know why it's stupid. And if you have the attention span of anything better than a gnat or an amoeba, you shouldn't have said that. Now, later on, he tries to say, oh, it was tongue in cheek. But then immediately in that same tweet where he said it was tongue in cheek, he then said, but it does go to show the principle of the matter. And I was like, so it's not tongue in cheek. You mean that?
Stop it. Take the L. All right. Look, man.
The beta is only going for 72 hours anyway.
Yeah. If there's one thing that needs to be said to all people who even have a thought to do something like this, don't bring your emotions to Twitter like that. All right. In the grand scheme of things, nobody fucking cares. All right. If I tweeted every time I felt like depressed about something, nobody would care.
There are people who I know who don't even have social media who got into the beta. So like,
Exactly.
This dude is making Twitter egg comments.
Like RNGesus beat you up today, but it's fine. There's an open beta that's coming, and then the game comes out in June. So like,
it's like, all right, man. Just wait 7 months, because when this beta goes away, you won't be playing it until the open beta, and then when you're in the open beta, you can make all the content you want. Go ahead and farm the analytics. Besides,
if you care that much, just download that crack beta that everyone's talking about or whatever. Find somebody to give you the tech, I guess. But obviously he didn't, because people were offering it.
Because here's the thing. People who had the cracked beta this entire time also got beta keys for the new beta. So no one cares if you have the cracked beta, because let's be honest, they let you play with mods online in Street Fighter V. So like, let's not act like this is some far-fetched ideology that you're being morally correct by not getting the cracked version of the game. Who, at the end of the day, no one cares. You got to remember this, especially in the FGC. If you look at NRS games, there was an entire era of #ban the testers, and they never got banned. People who had the game for a couple of months before the game even went on shelves, because developers gave them copies so they could write Prima strategy guides, if anybody remembers the Prima guide era, for the characters. They were able to enter tournaments with no probationary period. And these weren't just like average Joes. I don't think you understand. Some of the people who were the testers were Rio, Tom Brady.
Oh.
Like, no, they gave tournament winners of the previous game. So people were good enough already. The keys.
But did those people win the tournaments?
Yes, they did.
Did they win the majors?
Yes, they did. So let's not act like this is some far-fetched thing that like happened. Like, or some countries, especially with games like Tekken, game be out for 2 or 3 years before it hits console.
Exactly.
So it's
just be happy you got a beta.
Yeah, just be happy that you got a beta, so some of the problems that were unforeseen before can be seen and changed on day one, so we don't have to be 3 to 4 months behind on, man, we could have fixed this a long time ago. We could have fixed this a long time ago. We could have fixed this a long time ago. Because look, I'm going to say it right now. I have more faith in Capcom's balancing decisions than I ever had in the Overwatch team's balance decisions. And,
oh boy.
And when it comes to anything with the ArcSys logo on it, I have more faith in their balancing decisions over there than I do with ArcSys. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, hey man, that Guilty Gear patch came out. Come on, man, isn't it great? Don't you know Kai can do Sacred Edge on block, and it actually is plus on block now, so he can add more pressure and whatnot.
Does
right?
Does he have to be an install to do that, or is that just normal now?
No, it's only in shock state, but you know, whatever. Hey, yeah, Sacred Edge, right? Doesn't that give it a use? It fucking doesn't.
But hey, you know, it is what it is. But moving past that, the Game Awards did happen, and there were several announcements. Most of which, not gonna lie, what do you want me to say? It wasn't anything for me, but
you're not happy for Armored Core to come back? Come on, man.
No, I just want to hear more about my favorite rabbi, Bill Clinton. That's what.
All right. Let's get that kid out of here. He's a Nick Fuentes fan apparently. Yeah, fucking Street Fighter 6 had a release date, which was announced like a couple of days before the Game Awards because it was listed in the PSN store. Oh God. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 coming out in June, and they showed us Manon and Marissa and JP and DJ. Yeah. You know, so we got to see that nice trailer. That was nice. We got to see a trailer for Tekken 8, and they're like, yeah, the game's coming out and people can do things. And it's like, what? Huh? No release date, but hey, you know, after that, Harada came out and explained the system a little bit more, so there was that. But all right, Bayonetta is getting a Switch game that's going to be like what the adventures of Cereza and Cheshire during her youth, in a forest. It looks like the creators of BioShock are making a new game. Awesome. There's a horror game with a security guard. That looks really nice.
But here's the thing that I want to know.
Death Stranding 2. Why?
Okay, that is a why. But the thing that I wanted to know, because I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I beg your pardon? Crash Bandicoot Rumble Party game?
Yeah, why? Again. Like, I was so confused.
The only thing, and I mean the only thing that I am super interested in out of the things that they announced is I want to see more about that Transformers Reactivate.
Yeah.
Because surprisingly, Transformers has a really good track record of making some banger games.
I'm a little worried about the like character designs, like the design, making them like more like realistic, robotic, like Armored Core looking. But I do want to see more on that. I want to see like what they're going to do with that, because it was very surprising to see a Transformers game being announced at all.
The Last of Us Part 1 PC release date is set for March.
And the TV show's coming out in January. Yeah, with Pedro Pascal.
And the remakes are still on the way. So I have a question. Besides Skyrim, has Last of Us 1 now been the most released game of the decade, the last 10 years?
Nah, GTA 5, 100% GTA.
Yeah, you
5.
know what? You're right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, you could never forget about the GOAT, GTA 5.
So you want to know what's crazy? In a couple years, we're going to have to ask what year we're in, because we're going to have a Resident Evil 4, a Last of Us 1, a Dead Space. I'm sure Skyrim will be ported to something. And another Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, God.
So before we get sick, so like, trust me, man, it's going to feel like 2012 all over again. You hate to see it. Also, we now found out that the Fire Emblem stuff, like those are fusion characters.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and they already announced a battle pass for the game, which that's concerning, but whatever.
Also, Dune is getting a game.
Yeah. It's going to be an RTS game. So that's interesting. I believe like Warhammer RTS game creators are going to be making that one. So yeah, apparently there's like, you know, prominent figures who are going to make this game, and people are excited. But I don't know. It's also going to be an MMO. That's what it was. It's going to be an MMO. I was like, what? Huh? MMO for Doom?
Hey, they'll figure it out, right? Because while this wasn't announced at the Game Awards, this was announced actually on Twitter yesterday. But Final Fantasy is doing a pixel remaster.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasies 1 through 6 are getting a remaster. Now I don't know to what degree.
I thought the Pixel remaster like already came out. Like it was like a Switch game or whatever that's getting like ported somewhere.
Well, it says it's coming to Switch and PS4.
That's what it like came out.
So it
somewhere.
might be on. So it might be on PC, and they're moving it to those consoles.
Also, fuck Square Enix, by the way, trying to force me to buy a PS5 with that Final Fantasy 16. No PC release. Oh, console exclusive for the first 6 months. How dare you? How dare?
Is Pixel Remaster on Steam? Like, is it out?
I remember seeing something, and then like people were like replaying like Final Fantasy 6 and stuff like that. But maybe it was like only Final Fantasy 6 that got remastered, and
purchase
now
the
they're doing the
bundle
others.
and receive 1 through 6. All right, it's $75.
Hey man, you're getting 6 games.
Look, I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but like, oh, and it's on sale. It's 22% off right now, so it's probably about $100.
Yep. Yeah, buddy.
Aren't
you a Final Fantasy fan?
No, I'm not. I literally just said that, bro. I'm not.
Oh.
Final Fantasy's not my groove. I just happen to notice that this is a thing.
Well, that's why 16 is gonna change it up for you.
Hey, it might. Okay, so I'm looking at the screenshots for the remaster,
right?
And man,
the beautiful pixels, huh, buddy?
Man,
oh.
I don't know. It's just weird. Like the text looks like off. Like this might just be like something wrong with the formatting of the image, but like it looks like they crushed the font. Like the eyes don't look good. I'll say it that way.
That's weird. Yeah.
So okay, now I look in the reviews and people are complaining about the font. But otherwise though, people are saying that these are good. I'm not here to talk bad about the games, y'all. I just thought the font looked weird in these screenshots, and there are people complaining about the font. So it's not just my eyes. All right. I feel vindicated. But yeah, there's a lot of good games that are going to be coming out in 2023. Need for Speed Unbound, shockingly enough, is actually a solid title. It's amazing what happens when the Need for Speed teams are allowed to take some time off and focus on bringing something real good. Because I feel like they were doing the Treyarch Infinity Ward Sledgehammer like rotation-esque type thing that Call of Duty was doing for a while with Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Because Need for Speed had a impeccable track record of the yearly release. Because let's see, you got a game in 94.
Mm-hmm.
You got a game in 97. Then it was 98, 2000, 2000. Okay, you got, 99, 2000. Then 2002, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08. 2 games in 2009 because of the Nintendo Wii. They made this weird cartoon, dare I say, racist stereotype game called Need for Speed Nitro, where the Brazilian guy just wanted to kick his flip-flops around because he's a soccer maniac. Then you had Need for Speed World, which was an MMO racing game, which is all right. Then they had in 2010 again, Hot Pursuit. Then you got 2 games in 2011 again. So they had 3 years back to back when they had 2 games in a year. They had the Most Wanted remake in 2012, Rivals in 13, No Limits in 15, Need for Speed, the one that was developed by Ghost Studios in 2015. So they had 2 games in 2015. Then they took 1 year off, made Payback in 17, took a year off, made Heat. Then 3 years later, we got Unbound.
Yeah, that's
they've been pumping them out, bro. There have been 25 games in 28 years. And it's only because of that 3-year gap between Need for Speed 1 and Need for Speed 2.
Oh, man. Well, you know, Need for Speed is coming out, and that's going to be good. All right? It's going to be good.
No, it's out. It's out.
Wait, what?
Bro, that game came out on the 8th. So it was weird. So basically, the game was supposed to come out on the 8th. But if you got the pre-order of the premium edition, you got it a week early. So it came out like on like the 1st. So people were playing it. People were like, oh my God, it's actually good. It's actually really good. So then people played it on the 8th, and the people are still playing it. It's a good game. It's been out. Shout out to Travis Scott.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about that. But like, yeah, I mean, hey, let's get this out. What else is there? God, there's one more game that I'm thinking about. PS5 exclusive. Oh, the Forspoken demo came out, guys. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's one thing I want to say about Need for Speed Unbound, though. ASAP Rocky does not need to act. That's number one.
Okay.
But number two, I actually like the special effects, like the weird graffiti cartoon. Like, it feels right to have an arcadey game that isn't afraid to be an arcadey game.
Right.
Because I feel like there was a time between like 2014 and 2018 where every game wanted to be as simulation as possible. It's like, no, let Forza, Gran Turismo, let those games be great and do them. Everybody doesn't have to be them. Do you? And I feel like Need for Speed Unbound is a very good step to doing its own thing. So, just like with Need for Speed Heat, I'm giving you a round of applause. I know it feels really icky to give EA a round of applause, but I did it. 2022 is taking a toll on your boy. But that's all I've really been excited about when it comes to games that have come out in December or are on the horizon for next year.
How do you feel about God of War taking like so many awards, even though it came out like what, like a month before the awards?
Okay, so here's the thing. If God of War was God of War and it came out when Elden Ring came out, and then Elden Ring came out when God of War came out, I think it would have flipped. I just feel like it's so recent and in our minds just how great God of War is. Mm-hmm. The Elden Ring is kind of like floating in the ether. Like, we know it was great and we know it was godlike, but it just came out during a time to where some people may have like started to forget.
Now, if they both came out at the same time, like around the same, like within a month of each other, would God of War have even been in these nominations?
No, they've been in the nominations because Horizon was right there.
Yeah,
they
you're right. It would have been there.
They ain't win nothing, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought Horizon was a great game. I thought, and especially with a lot of the gameplay elements, they tightened a lot of the issues that you might have had with the first one. So I was like, hey, man, now's your time. But for whatever reason, Horizon just somehow always picks a year of release where they go against Godslayer. Like, what are you going to do? Breath of the Wild, man, that's tough. You're not beating them. Mm-hmm. Mario Odyssey, that's tough. That's rough, buddy. And then in this year, God of War, Elden Ring, come on, bro. What do you do? That's a what do you do?
If Elden Ring didn't win, riots would have happened. All right? Like, ain't no way.
I just want to know if God of War would have won, would that guy have gotten on stage?
What, Christopher Judge?
No, crazy man. Bill Clinton is my favorite rabbi.
Oh, nah. He would have gone up there regardless.
All right.
It was just crazy how he did it. It was crazy how he did it because they're all walking up. They're walking up this way, and then the kid just comes this way and just goes, "All right, yeah, I'm part of the crowd." And nobody was like,
"Who he worked for?" Greg, is this your child? But yeah, you know, it is what it is. But that being said, I appreciate you joining us this week for a nice 2-hour edition of your favorite podcast and your favorite podcast, Cloud.wave. I believe this is like episode 84. Hashtag Randy Moss. We're out here. We're getting real close to 100. I don't know if we're going to do anything special for the 100th episode. So we're still about 15 weeks away. So we'll see you guys in April. Or the last week of March. Something in there. But y'all take care. Y'all have a great set of games. An even better day. And as always, Subtle Fraudulence is going to tell you.
The internet was a mistake.
And we're not
also
fixing
trust
it.
No one. Trust no one. No one.
Yeah, don't trust this guy. You might be able to trust him, but he's also the guy that told you not to trust anyone. So we're going to let you rattle that around in your brain cages for a while. Take care.